Mr. President, Mr. President, George Washington, I've come here to ask you for advice. Is there anything that you would like to say to the government? This isn't what you imagined? This isn't what you wanted? Oh, we got a problem then, guys. Thanks for watching Learning with Sprayberry, where we make social studies fun, easy, and hopefully, most importantly, educational. Today we're going to go back in time and ask old G-Dubs for some advice. But as always, I've got to start off with a little bit of background. George Washington was elected and began his term in 1789 as our first and only unanimously elected president. That means that 100% of electors chose him to be president. Serving until 1797, he chose of his own free will to step down as president after serving only 2 terms. Wait a minute, can't presidents only serve 2 terms? Wrong. It's not until the 22nd Amendment that it becomes official. To explain why he chose to step down, Washington wrote a farewell address, which discusses his reasons for leaving as well as his hopes and thoughts for the country. In his explanation for leaving, Washington says that he feels that he's done the best he can by contributing towards the organization and administration of the government, the best exertions of which a very fallible judgment was capable. He admits that he might not have always made the best decisions, but that he did the best he could. Washington also states, "The increasing weight of years admonishes me more and more that the shade of retirement is as necessary to me as it will be welcome." He knows that it's time for him to step down, and he's ready to step down. In his famous "I'm outta here" speech, old G-Dub establishes a couple of important points that we need to look at. His first idea is that he steps down after only 2 terms. Think about that. He's the first president and has an unlimited term limit. He could have stayed rocking presidential power indefinitely. Instead, he chose to quit. The reason behind it is simple. He wasn't trying to establish another kingdom here in the United States. He didn't want to be king. He wanted to show that democracy is a right given to the people. He wanted to show the people of the United States that power is given to those who deserve it. This unofficial precedent of stepping down after 2 terms lasts all the way to FDR, who won a whopping 4 terms. But he was a special case. Thanks to Washington stepping down, it's expected that our officials will only serve at the will of the people. Today, we've got elected officials, not presidents, mind you, but elected officials who've been in office for decades. Maybe they should dig out their notes from social studies class and take a look at some of G-Dub's hints. The second knowledge bomb that Washington drops is overlooked quite often. You see, Washington is really against permanent foreign alliances. England's history is full of wars and battles that got kicked off by some alliance that had been established forever ago. We are a brand new baby country just wobbling around on our little legs like a baby horse trying to run. The Revolutionary War officially ends in 1783, and by Washington's time, politicians are arguing that we have to make alliances with other countries. Some people are pushing for an alliance with France because France helped us out in the Revolutionary War. Others are saying that we need to align ourselves with England because we trade with them and they're the most like us. Washington doesn't want to see the United States get dragged into any disputes, and he says, how about we mind our own business for a little bit? Washington's last piece of advice is arguably the most important bit. Dispute and discord are 2 factors that he is all too familiar with. Washington remembers the conflicts between loyalists and patriots and how these differences bred strife and conflict. He warns the citizens and politicians alike to stay away from the idea of political parties. Part of this political difference he's trying to avoid is based off regional differences. Our country then, and now, is based quite a bit on different areas being uniquely different from each other. He doesn't want our country to get sidetracked and split over political and regional differences. Avoiding political parties is going to help the country focus on the fixes that support all Americans. When political parties start to develop, people start focusing more on their own goals and ideals. We see this in the development of the Federalist Adams Party and the arguments with the Democratic Jefferson. To find out how that battle goes, why don't you check out my video on judicial review? So there you go. A blast of advice from the political past. It's time for our question of the day. What are some of the ways that you've seen the modern politicians completely ignore the OG GW? Let me know down in the comments below. Rolling on over to Subscriber of the Week. This week, let's give a shout out to Texas Keeper 2005. Thanks for watching. If you want to be featured as Subscriber of the Week, you've got to be subscribed here and or on Instagram. You can find me on Instagram at SprayberryTeaches. By the way, if you found this video helpful at all, click like. If you want to see more content, click subscribe. I try to release videos frequently, but it's not happening. Anyway, thanks for watching Learning with Sprayberry, where we make social studies fun, easy, and most importantly, educational. I'm out.